What's cracking? What's going on, Josie Sports Nation fans? I'm back with another video. Let me make sure if you're checking in, you let me know if my audio is okay. I hear a little echo. Let me do a little alterations here. But anyway, oh man, I had a good day today, man. Got a chance to take a nap. Got that nap in. Got that nap in. Yeah, man, I wanted to talk about some things, man. I ain't been on there here in a minute. I appreciate everybody who is supporting the channel. Last couple of weeks, man, I've really been pushing out these videos, man. So I definitely thank the people watching it, man. It's really incredible. It's pretty fun. I get a lot of haters. A lot of haters hating on my video, man. So thank you for hating on my videos as well. Yeah, man, these people out here be hating on the videos, man. But I love it, man. Bring the hate, man. Look, definitely. And for the people who want to super chat, man, super chat me your hate. I'll be the number one hater. See, I got a black shirt on today. A lot of people know me as the number one hater of LeBron James. They call me the number one hater. So definitely I'm about to wear my apparel in the future. LeBron's number one hater. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to put the banner up, what we're going to be talking about today. I want to talk about this. I ain't going to start it right away. I'm going to kind of slowly get into what I'm going to talk about. But is Jake and Logan Paul marketing geniuses? Yeah, no. I see a lot of I was talking to my cousin yesterday because I ordered the fight. I watch a lot of pay-per-view fights. I mean, just something. I started this during the pandemic when we didn't have anything else to do. But I just got into UFC really heavy. We watch it every week. The family. A lot. My kids is in martial arts. My older son just started jiu-jitsu. So we're really into that, man. So yeah, I want to ask this question. I'm gonna talk about it in a minute, but Jake and Ryan, man, they doing their thing. Also, one of the runners up here is going to be who got the best handle, Isaiah Thomas or Allen Iverson. Now, I have privileged to watch both play. So, I'm not dating my age. I guess I am. But I got a chance to watch that. And I want to ask that question to the Josie Sports Nation fans. You can put it in a comment below, or if, later on I'll put the link down if you want to talk about it. And this is kind of piggybacking on what I will say about the Paul family. Was it scripted? Was it fake? Are these guys not winning on purpose? You gotta ask these questions. Is Dana White? Are they trying to come after Dana White because they're not getting paid that much there, or what's going on? So I heard reports that Jorge Masvidal's manager is pushing for a Jake Paul boxing match. That should be interesting. Are you losing interest? That's the question. Now, also, I want to talk about, if you want to talk about it or not, you let me know if this is something that interests you. But I know I have a lot of fans that's Laker fans. And if you're a Laker fan, you know more information than I do, feel free to come in. Feel free. Because I heard Rondo plans to sign a 1-year deal with the Lakers. Talk about a super team. I talk about super teams all the time, but woo. And I believe I have one of my experts calling in. I want to ask this question. When should kids play tackle football? I'll have to dive in there a little bit. But back to Jake Paul. Now, I did watch the fight. Contrary to many people's belief, I really enjoyed the whole card. It was good. It was good. Expensive, but good. And before I get into my analysis on the particular fight, I want to talk about the card, man, because I'm not really a boxing fan. I feel like boxing it just it bores me. None of these fighters want to fight each other, man. You got Canelo. Canelo been ducking the Carlo brothers for since 2013, where it got to a point where the Carlo brothers is not even asking for the fight anymore. It's just like none of them are fighting. It's getting irritated, and the fans, the problem I have with boxing fans, they're so dedicated into like, oh, it's the sport and the art, and they don't call these boxers out. They never fight each other, and then when they do fight each other, they're just not hitting each other for 12 rounds. It's like they dance and not getting hit. When I remember when Teddy Atlas said it's hard to get out of bed when you're sitting on silk sheets. Not to say every boxer is making money, but the boxers that's making money are not trying to fight each other. Like, it's ridiculous. I'm just over it. So that's what kind of gravitated myself to UFC. Now I see you, Will, in the comments. Give me one moment. In Q. So that's what kind of bothered me about the sport. I just got tired of not seeing the big fights. Now, obviously, there's some people like to move forward, but I like to go back sometime and look at the history of boxing. When I started watching boxing, boxers was fighting each other. Now they can't talk now. They need a caption when they talk, but hey, man, it was great theater. They can't talk, but oh well. But you had the Muhammad Ali. He fought everybody. You had Sugar Ray Leonard. He still got all his senses. He's the only one, but he fought everybody. Tommy Hearns and Hagler and the Hands of Stone, and then you had the '90s, which I think was a really good era of boxing with the heavyweight division. But it's just like so boring. But anyway, so I love the card. The card was really nice. I believe it started off with Tommy Fury. That's Tyson Fury's brother. And he fought Anthony Taylor. Now, I believe Anthony Taylor, you can correct me wrong, but Anthony Taylor, I think he was an MMA fighter. And also he was Jake Paul's sparring partner. Now, Tommy Fury is trying to get a fight with Jake Paul like everybody else is. Because Jake Paul is the money maker right now. The number two money earner right now, if you will. But Tommy didn't impress me. He didn't have any power. He should have knocked that guy out. See, Anthony Taylor, in those rounds, he was tired. He was tired like the second round. The second round, he was tired. So I was expecting Tommy to, since he had that boxing background, the family, to knock him out in impressive fashion, but he didn't do that. So, but it was still entertaining. I was still hyped up to watch the fight. But then you had Montana Love and Ivan Baranchyk. Now, I don't know these fighters. Like I said, I'm not a boxing fan, but Montana Love is pretty nice. He reminds me of, he's from the Midwest. He's from Cleveland. And he reminds me of, what's his name? Anthony Bronner, I think his name is. Only thing I didn't like about him is he was a showboat. Like, there's a couple times when Montana Love should have knocked the dude out. When he was showboating, he cracked him one time and just started dancing and stuff. I hate that stuff, man. Just finish the fight. But Ivan, I heard he was a pretty good fighter. He's declining right now, but that was a good fight. It went to the seventh round TKO, but it was a good fight, man. And Montana's, I can see him coming up, but I stopped this showboating in boxing. It's just something about those Midwest fighters, man. It's doing all this showboating, and you're gonna get knocked the heck out. I believe he's in the I forgot 140. Yeah, I think he's a 140. So yeah, he needs to be a little bit more disciplined. But that was a good fight. And then you had Daniel DeBose. I think that's how you say his name. I don't know how to say his name. A lot of people attack me for that, but yeah, he was from England. It was a heavyweight fight. He fought Joe Casumano. I think that's how you say his name. And that was good. That was first round knockout, man. So I was all into it. I mean, my popcorn and everything like that. It was a great event. Shout out to Jake Paul, man, and his team. He has a promotional team now, so he's getting the bag. That was a good fight. And then they had a co-headliner with two women, with Amanda Serrano and this Mexican chick. I forgot her name, but that was a pretty good fight too. But let's talk about this Jake Paul Tyron Woodley fight. Now, I'm like one of the only ones who was really waiting for this because I watched the UFC. Now I knew that Woodley, he's been declining as a fighter. He lost the last 4 of his fights, and I believe he lost his contract with UFC. Now I watched him when Usman stopped him, and he lost to Kobe Covington. I remember that was a pretty good promotional fight. So he was just declining. I don't know why. I mean, I know why he took this fight, but I was so amped up during this fight. Like I watch a lot of fights, like I said, and this is the first time I was nervous in a long time, mainly because I didn't want to be called out because I pumped this UFC up so much. And I'm just like, please win this fight, man. Because to me, UFC don't have any hands. Obviously, you gotta pay attention to too many things. And when I was watching his stance when he came out there, he was back foot back, like he felt like he was going to get attacked by his legs or something like that. You know what I mean? Like the dude's going to take him down. So I noticed that about Tyron Woodley during the fight. Now Jake Paul, I could tell he was nervous. Like he was nervous in that locker room. He tried to say his legs was messed up. No, man, you was scared. You didn't want to get knocked out in front of your fans because the fight was in front of your fans. But Tyron, man, he's disappointed me, man. I was just like, wow. Like during the first round, Jake Paul was a little nervous, but he was slipping a jab and he was moving, you know. And Tyron Woodley I understand, you know, like when you're a professional fighter, you're trying to figure out what they're going to do. So you might lose 1 or 2 rounds just to see what he's going to do, what he's going to bite with. So first round, second round, he lost those rounds, man. Third round, he lost that one. So I'm getting nervous because it's only 8 rounds, man. I'm like, come on, bro. So then the 4th round comes. And I start seeing he's getting a little bit more aggressive. So I'm like, yeah, come on, Woodley, get him. You know, then this happens. Your boy got caught.
They were basing it on the sparring sessions, but at this juncture, he's fired. And Paul gets rocked by Woodley. He held on to the rope. And
Dude almost knocked him through the ring. So this is what I'm like. I'm jumping around the room. I'm like, yeah, get him. What is all this? Did you pop out a sailor, man? I'm like, finish the brother, man. I didn't understand that. I'm like, am I being bamboozled for my $60, man? Like, you should have beat him. Let me play this again.
I think they were basing it on the sparring sessions, but at this juncture, he's fired. And Paul gets rocked by Woodley. He held on to the rope. And
Why did you jump on that? Now, I heard what he said in the press conference. He said he tried to do that in the UFC and he got knocked out. So he was a little timid. But come on, bro. So you let him slide that round. So let's go to the fifth round. The fifth round, I'm thinking, okay, he's being a little bit more aggressive, but Woodley would not use that jab. He wouldn't use the jab to set things up. He wouldn't do anything. He was just waiting for them powerful punches that he was trying to give. And one thing I did notice with Jake Paul was tired. Jake Paul was tired around that fourth round. So that's what another thing I'm like, is you being a boxer, you've been not specifically a boxer, but a fighter. You should know when the person is tired. They're in the deep waters now. So you let him get off the hook. And like I said, shout out to Jake Paul, man. Jake Paul, he lasted 8 rounds with this champion. And that's why I want to ask the question. Is these marketing geniuses, man? Because they're just disrupted the whole boxing structure. Now, we all know boxing's always been corrupt since the beginning of time. It's been a corrupt system. People taking dives, promoters not paying people. It's just been like that for a long time. So I don't give a crap. I'm applauding what Jake Paul's doing. Give me one more moment, I will. But I respect, man, just put respect on the Paul family's name. Like, I was doing a little bit of research. My kid used to tell me about the Paul family for years and years ago. I mean, a couple years ago, but I didn't, that's kid stuff. He was on Disney. I heard a little bit about a story. Jake Paul and his brother from Ohio, Cleveland, about 10 minutes away from Cleveland. And this is the point I'm going through the story, because it's like you really got to pay attention to the clues with your kids, man. So Jake Paul and his brother's about 2 years older than him. They wanted to play They were playing football. Now, their parents just got divorced when he was about 10 years old, but his dad bought him a camcorder, a camera, so he can record the football game. So they dreamed about playing football in the NFL, I believe. So these kids decided to record videos and little pranks that they were doing. If that was me as a parent, I would have been pissed off. Like, dude, I bought this thing for you to play football. Stay focused. But I digress on that. So they're doing these videos about, and they were putting them on YouTube in like 2007, but it wasn't going well, so they stopped and they got into sports. I know Ryan Paul used to wrestle. They was really good football players, real competitive. So 2013, they found out about Vine and they start putting their stuff on Vine. And I'm not going to go all deep into that story, but about time 2016 arrived, these kids was making like $8,000 a month each. Now, Ryan went off to college to wrestle, but they still doing these videos. Not really taking it serious or whatever. But Jake Paul, he's in his school in Cleveland, and this dude, like he said, the people above him, the 12th graders or whatever, they was hating on him. The teachers was hating on him, and he just didn't feel the creativity. So think about this: his mom allowed him to move to California because he was making all this money. They were making more money than their parents. So he goes to California, and this is the genius, I would say. This dude started a company called Team 10, Teamdom. And what this dude did, and I'm gonna play a video of it. Well, first off, he felt like he wanted to get into acting, and this kid thought about it like, well, it's too congested. I need to stand out. So he built his own company of like networking, and he basically he was collaborating with people, and he would try to help people build their channels, and he would get 20% of the profits. I'm gonna play this video real quick about this company. I'm like, this is such a genius move. Let me see if I can pull it up. 1 second. Yeah, I'm just like, wow, this dude was a genius. All right, here we go.
Power of a team is so big, it's unreal. Imagine taking Kanye West, Drake, LeBron James, Rihanna, Kylie Jenner, and having them all promote something. That would be insane. But we, as social media influencers, everyone that comes to this house, everyone on the team, we are those people to our fans. So when we get put together, these people move. You just have to know how to make them move, and no one's doing it.
You know, anybody who doesn't realize that every single human being in America, 14 to 24, only lives in their phone and only watches on 3 or 4 or 5 of these platforms is gravely mistaken.
Brands who aren't doing social media marketing are missing the whole entire Gen Z and millennial generation.
Millennials have a spending power of 2.45 trillion globally.
New research shows the average amount of time kids spend in front of screens is 7.5 hours a day.
I know 4th graders who have iPhones and they have Instagram accounts.
Absolutely, and they have followers.
Yeah, just like,
they have more followers than you have.
Right?
Teamdom, teen, entertainment, and media kingdom. We are creating the entertainment and media for future generations.
For me, what's really cool about Team, what you guys are doing, is that I'm a big fan of scratching your own itch. Here's what I mean by that. You are influencers, you grew up in it, you've tasted it. This is not your first day or first rodeo. You understand it from the content production side, and you've worked with a lot of brands at this point. So then creating a halo effect of developing talent, knowing what to look for, you're always better at finding talent when you've done it yourself.
We are like a business incubation company. You know, you've heard of Y Combinator and things like that, but we do that for talent.
What I originally thought was just for fun and, you know, just taking pictures, Team 10 has helped me leverage into a full-blown, you know, full-time professional career and business, which was something I never thought was possible.
What Team 10 has done for me thus far is expose me to a much broader demographic and allow me to expose myself to all sorts of different like-minded people in the space, from brands to managers to anyone you can think of.
90% of the people that are creating amazing content on Musical.ly and Snapchat and Instagram are actually artists. And they need a business entity that isn't their homie from around the way or their dad to take them to the next level.
I started with 2,000 followers and now I'm at a total of 4.5 million in 1 year too.
With Team 10's connections, it really boosted our following, which we intrigued more brand deals. And we never knew, like, before we were doing like brand deals for a little money, but then Team 10 introduced us to, like, you know,
it
expanded our cost and it grew our brand.
I create with Team 10.
I rise with Team 10.
Man, come on, man. What the heck are we doing out in these streets? And for all you guys who get on my platform and be talking that crap, you better get you a platform, man. Build you an audience. This dude started that company with 7 people building content. And I was trying to figure out what the 10 was, so I looked it up. Basically, it was 10 digits. He's trying to, like he said, once he gets big enough, he's going to sell it for those 10 digits, sell the company. Come on, man. And these people be hating on this guy. Now, he is a jerk. He is a bully. And most of his stuff is about pranks and different things like that. But put respect on Jake Paul's name. And then one of the big-time YouTubers overseas, I think his name was KSI. If I'm wrong, just hit me up in the message. His name was KSI. He was doing a boxing match. And then he called out the Paul family. I might try to play that video in a minute, but I'm gonna get my guest on real quick, and then I'll find it. I want to hold them up. Give me 1 second. Hey, what's going on, Will? The Thrill?
Everything. How are you?
Doing good, man. Doing good. How's your day so far? Sound like you're in a vehicle.
Yeah, out here on the go, ripping and running. Man, that team. I didn't know about that team 10. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, this dude. Man, people need to put respect on his name. You could like or hate him, but he's showing you how to do this, son. He's showing you how to do it. So, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's definitely huge. I mean, those guys. I went and looked at their page. Page has 2.4 million subscribers, and they're not even doing anything with it. They grew past that concept.
That's right.
I don't know if maybe people weren't getting on board, weren't ready to go and grow. As you know, a lot of times when people have the opportunities, people are fake. They're scared. So, for example, on this show, you told your haters to make a platform. You think they're going to do it? No.
Not at all.
They're going to just chirp in the comment section.
That's a fact. That's a whole fact. Now, did you have you? When did you find out about Jake Paul?
I found out about Jake Paul at what was it, the Nate Robinson fight.
Same here. His business model was amazing. I just like, but he's been doing it for a while. Building this platform, man. A lot of his fan base is interesting that they grew up with him because a lot of them were kids. During the Disney era and prior to that. And I mean, he got a lot of backlash because they were saying he's been a bad role model, and I think a lot of his team members left him, and I want to say they were suing him, because he was just being a jerk to him. Like one of the girls, I was reading the girl in the video, she used to date him, and he did her so wrong, man. And she was under contract too. And so he basically one day I was watching this video. I might pull it up, but he said he loved her. Then the next thing you know, he would bring some girls from like his hometown and be smashing upstairs, and she hearing this stuff and she, crying, but she wouldn't leave because she loved him. And then she said that she ended up trying to get him back, so she slept with his brother. A lot of drama. But you got to think. I'm thinking like, man, this dude, what is he, like 21 right now? 24? About 24?
Yeah, 24.
This dude was 18, 19, 20 years old. What did he make? 2018, I think he made like $11 million or something crazy like that. So you imagine being that young, making that type of income. You making way more than your parents?
Yeah, that's definitely crazy. I mean, I applaud him for it, but the character thing, gotta look at something for that. But I guess he don't care. He ain't going to go and cry on his bed of dollars.
Yeah, man. I think that's amazing, man. 2013 to 2017, what he built, and one of the purposes of him doing that was to get into Hollywood. He ended up getting there. His work ethic is crazy, man. I saw him. He wasn't like a good actor, really. So he was taking acting classes, heavy, still doing the videos, and then he ended up getting an opportunity. So when he got on that show, I think it's called Blizzard Mark or something like that. It was like a rendition of like iCarly. But anyway, he was still doing those videos, and then when the Vine went down, he bought a conscious decision to do vlogs every day. And I'm thinking like, how did you do that? Because it's really hard, as you know, to create that content every day. But he hired a editor, so he was beating everybody else because he was just putting the content out, and they were editing it for him, and he was getting a video a day.
Wow.
Yeah, but go ahead.
Nah, saying that's smart dude. Now, what did his parents do?
I forgot what his mother did. His dad was he owned his own business. He was a real estate agent at one point. Then he owned a construction company or something. He wasn't making that much money. And his mom, I can't remember what she was doing. Yeah, but there was middle class family down there, and actually, like I said, they got a divorce.
I was just wondering if somewhere along the line these guys are seeing that art of the deal at work, in real life. Because just that everyone doesn't have that personality, that type of drive. I mean, your boy had Gary V on there, and that's definitely huge. But I was just wondering, somewhere along the line, them real estate deals, I don't know if they were around or hearing stuff from their dad.
I don't know. His dad didn't look too polished. There was some conflict on a couple of videos they had because he hired his dad to work with him on that company, and they had some videos where they were doing like a kissing contest, and his dad was in it. So they would blindfold the girl, and like 3 different dudes would kiss the girl, and his dad was kissing her. I was like, wow. He definitely took a lot of risks. Yeah. So yeah, man. So did you get a chance to watch the fight or?
I didn't watch it all. I just watched the highlights. I could see. Oh man. I will say that from what I did see at the end of the fight, if Woodley's able to start putting that aggression in, he should have went all the way. Because it looked like he was kind of like the Hulk. It was like he was getting better as the fight was going longer. And you can't do that. You got to put him away. You don't ever want to let it go to a decision.
That's right. See, what I didn't like about Woodley during the fight, because like I said, if you heard the first part, I had so much anxiety. It was I wanted dude to knock him out so bad. I bought into the hype. But when I was watching Woodley move around the ring, he wasn't cutting the ring off. So I'm like, why is he not cutting the ring off? He's allowing dude to run around and jog and throw some jabs. And I'm like, if you cut the ring off, he don't have anywhere else to go. And I would say this, Jake Paul got exposed in that fight. He got exposed. I mean, obviously, it's not that hard to do. He only had 4 professional fights, and none of them were boxers. But there was times when he was punching off the wrong foot, like off balance. I saw he had nice combinations. I would say, like, he had a couple good combinations, so you could tell he was working. I saw it like I was watching. And this is what I want to talk about. The reason why he actually got into boxing. Because at that time he was, I think he was about to get canceled or something, man. He was doing a lot of dumb stuff as a kid, and people were coming out on him, and they did something that, you know how many people are so sensitive these days. I think Ryan Paul was in China or something, and he went over to this little suicide park and made a video about it, and people were they lost so many followers after that, and a lot of stuff they were doing. So I think he was getting depressed about all this. He's sitting in his home, looking at this big house, and he didn't have any direction. People were suing him at this point because a lot of times when he was doing the videos, he wasn't getting he wasn't clearing it with them, so they were suing him. So he was all depressed. But then here comes a YouTuber, KS1. I think it's KSI. I think it's KSI, and he challenged him. And just to start, like now he's like doing all this stuff, but now he's trying to box now and working on his boxing skills. And this was like what 3 years ago. And then this dude started a company called MVP Promotions, and you're partnering up with Showtime. Like you just changed the whole boxing game.
Yeah.
And this is why I say this, because they had promoters, like everybody, like all these people, like, man, these are scam artists and all that. I'm like, look, you got to blame boxing, man, because they had real boxing promoters. I mean, real boxers on the undercard. Because all them promoters wanted a piece of this money. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Real boxers.
You got to give it though to the millennials and Gen Z, which Jake Paul would be part of the latter one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these guys are always finding a way to disrupt current industries.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have Uber with the taxis. Those were some millennials that said, "Man, I'm tired of taking cabs," and they ended up doing what they're doing. But they're going an unconventional route. They're actually getting people to watch. I mean, he's barely a pro. He hasn't even fought a pro boxer. You know, it's
and you cannot hate on that. You know why? If you look at Mike Tyson's first 4 fights, they were with bums. I'm gonna look it up real quick just to let you know. But like, that's what fighters do when they first start off. They don't fight. They fight Joe Blow plumber who got 2 jobs and he's trying to box and he got a boxing license. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, we all watched Rocky, even though it was fictitious, but it was based off of real stuff. Like boxing, Rocky was fighting bums. You know what I mean? So the way he beat the system, he's like, okay, I could fight bums, but guess what? I'm gonna get paid for it. I'm gonna get paid what champions get. You can't hate on that. So now everybody, they're seeing this model jump off, right? And you'll hear other brands like UFC, Dana White talk so bad on the brand is because he's your competition now. Because all your fighters who's not getting compensated well is like, hey, I would just go to his card. I want a piece of him. You know what I mean?
Right.
All right, so I go to let me see. Yeah, but yeah, but anyway, these people, these fighters, when they start off like Mayweather and all, they don't fight people. They fight Joe the plumber and get their rankings up. Ain't that what happened on Rocky 3 or something like that?
Right.
You just make you're trying to promote them. Like, this is promoters, so we need your record to be 30-0. So you're gonna fight bums.
Then the one dude came out and said, "You just a paper champion." But in real life, Mayweather said, "Okay, paper champion, let's make some money together." And I'm gonna take most of it.
Yeah, he built his promotion company, and he fought under his promotions. But when he wasn't fighting under his promotions, Mayweather, he wasn't making money. He even said it. He's like, he was not making money, and they was going to cut him off the promotional deal because he wasn't a draw until he started saying he was Money Mayweather. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what we need to learn about this stuff right here, because you have to market yourself. Like, you have to market yourself. Like, I didn't know none of these boxers. That's a huge mistake. They need to learn from this young dude. If you got an audience, I don't care where it is. If you have an audience, 50 Cent said this. If you have an audience, they'll follow you. The reason why Jake Paul got this big audience because he was when they were 5 years old when they were watching him. They're dedicated to him. So now they're gonna buy everything he has. Genius.
Right.
How many people when they first saw Magic Johnson, they like Magic's no matter what, he's the greatest because when they were 8 years old, they got the chance to watch him. You know what I mean? Or Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant's another one. You know what I mean? Like there's so many people who grew up on Kobe and they're in their backyard or at the hoop court like Kobe. You can't. That was the genius move, man. That's what I'm saying. So he was with. Like, if you watch the last fight when they fought, he fought Askren, I think. I forgot the first dude's first name, but the MMA fighter he knocked out. That was on Triller.
Ben Askren.
Ben Askren. That was on Triller. So now you're dealing with Showtime. Showtime been promoting boxing for a long time. You know. So
yeah, that's amazing. Because this isn't, some sad thing. This is one of the main ones. It's HBO and Showtime, right?
Yeah. So, like I said, a lot of these big time boxing fans is mad at it. They're like, "This is trash." I'm like, "No, you got to blame boxing for that, man. Because for years, we wasn't getting the big fights. Like, why didn't Anthony Joshua fight Wilder yet? You know what I mean? Like, why didn't Charlo fight? What's the Mexican? What's the Mexican's name that fight real good right now?
Canelo.
Like, why didn't they fight? So, like I said, shout out to them. I was telling somebody today, like when you got 9 bad businesses, man. All you need is one good business, it'll change the whole market. You know what I mean? And this is just happening. Like people support it. Like you had Tyson's fighting. How Tyson making more money than the title fights that's going on right now? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's huge. And you know what? It's good for the sport because it would hopefully teach these boxers exactly that. You better market yourself. Don't just be the Tommy Two Toes with the left hook or whatever. Pick a side. Be the good guy. Be the bad guy. Be the cowboy. Be the patriot. You can even be woke or whatever. As long as you out there and you're coming and dominating the matches, be something. Gotta have some character.
Yeah, man. So, like I said, even us, man, you have to brand yourself, man. You have to we're in a world where you can build an audience and make a lot of money doing it. We got all these shutdowns and stuff going on. Like you got to create your own community, and your stands, if you will. So I have to put respect. Like I said, I don't like them all like that, but I got to respect his hustle. Like this dude was doing this since you making money in high school, you making a 6-figure income. People going to college for that type of income. And the older generation, they don't understand what's going on. That's fine. That's fine. But us younger generation, like I was telling people when they got kids playing football, I'm like, man, you could start a whole reality show with his career from like 9th grade to 12th grade, man. People watch that. And then a lot of times, like if you're on YouTube, kids is on their tablets forever, just watching and watching and watching. So if you just have good content, you're gonna get the views. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. They're not doing anything but just staring at it. And the best thing you can get, right? If you can find yourself in a lane, it's almost like a freeway where the cars are just flowing down, and you know how they say the flow of traffic, and you may or may not get a speeding ticket. But anyway, if you could find yourself in a lane that's moving, so if you're in the the pop star kid lane, and you're creating stuff. Then after Ninja Kids come on, they might have the little thing that says people who like Ninja Kids also view this. Once you get in that lane, it's going to give you the push. So that's definitely huge.
Yeah. Yep. Man, so I wanted to ask this question, man, and then probably I'll let you go. Excuse me. What do you think about when do you think kids should play football? Tackle. I mean, we have this awareness of CTE, and a lot of these kids are getting hurt long term. What do you think about that?
The best case scenario is also it's always I believe it's high school. My older kids who play football, they ended up starting out pretty young, about 8, 9 years old, and it's one of those things. Thank God neither of them have been majorly hurt or anything like that, but you do see the dangers of it, and I can only pray for the best. But why sit in a position of prayer when there's so many new tools available? Before they had flag football, and that was probably the option, and people kind of treated the flag football like that's sissy or like that's weak or something of the sort. So now they create these 7-on-7 leagues, which are basically the same thing except it's two-hand tag. In fact, no, it's not. I don't even think it's two-hand tag. I think it's just tag, so you can just tag them with one hand. So it's the same thing, basically, but now that's the it thing. So with that being said, if I were to do it over again, I would, get them involved in something like that, because I believe the 7-on-7, you can get involved with that as young as like 11 or 12.
Man. Yeah, I remember this guy who I knew he went to the NFL. He said the same thing. He was basically saying that kids shouldn't play tackle football till at least high school. They said Concussion Legacy Foundation cited 2019 study by a team of researchers from Boston University that concluded for every 2.6 years of playing tackle football, an athlete risk of CTE doubles. Someone who plays tackle football for 14.5 years, the study shows, was 10 times more likely to develop CTE than someone who spends fewer years playing. Yeah. I mean, because, especially like when these kids are like 8, 9 years old, they don't have the skill anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's more you should learn how to play the game opposed to trying to, run somebody over. You ever see them little small leagues when they're like so happy that the running back ran the little kid over with the big helmet and the
little body? Yeah. Oh man, and it's a shame when you see that, because you see it be like smack, and they be like, ooh.
And then the dudes knock the kids knocked out, and they pick them up by the shoulder pads and say, walk it off. But then there's one good guy that there's usually 1 or 2 good dudes on the team that just, they've been lifting weights since they was like 9 years old and doing all types of stuff, and they're just stronger than everybody. So yeah, it used to make me cringe when I used to watch that stuff, man. Watching the kids play. But yeah, so you said about 14?
Yeah, well, I think that culture, where, I mean, I'm not saying that kids shouldn't be going through tough things, but we have the information now. It's like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on the stream, but a certain white substance drug that's hard that people have, smoked. It's a derivative of the coca, but whatever the case, we know what that is. This isn't the 70s. We know what it is. We know what the effects are. We know what happened to people.
So people who are doing that now, a young person doing that now, they have no excuse. And the same thing as far as with the football, the parents have the information. At this point, if they're not paying attention to it, they're purposely choosing to ignore it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to judge anyone's parenting, so to say, except for the fact that if something happens, you can't say, "Well, I didn't know." I mean, they made a whole. Will Smith had even started a movie about it. They talk about it every day on the football stuff. If you read the little disclaimers and stuff like that, you go onto the NFL.com. All of it's there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no excuse.
That's right. Yeah, man. So I don't know. So yeah, I watched that movie, man. That was a eye opener, man. That the NFL pretty much denied, and a lot of people attacked that movie. I don't think it did well.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. Just like they said on the movie, that shield is definitely very powerful. Said they have their own holiday Sunday.
That's right. That's right, man. You excited about the NFL season?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because they add an extra game, right?
This year? No, I didn't even know that.
Extra game to the regular season, and I believe they took one away from the preseason, which no one really cares about. But yeah, they're going to be playing 17 games, so that will be interesting to see, especially at that end. Like how they usually, if you're ahead enough, you might start taking your starters out. So we'll see.
Now these numbers is going to be ridiculous, and then someone's going to come in here like what's the Chiefs quarterback, and he's going to break all the records, and they're going to be like, he's the greatest ever. You playing 17 games now, you can't touch him. They're basically playing flag football.
Oh yeah, he'll probably Mahomes going to put up a 7,000-yard season.
man. But yeah, man, I appreciate your input, man. Is there anything else you want to leave? Anything else you want to say?
No, man. Appreciate you letting me come on the show. And definitely well, real quick, anyone with the kids, man, just look for a 7-on-7 league. They're out there. Like I've seen them, for little kids, for older kids, it's out there, and they have fun. Like the kids that do it, they love it. So that's all I got to say.
Before you go,
yes, sir.
Who's the better ball handler, Isaiah Thomas or
Iverson? I'm not going to let you finish that. No, I'm not going to let you finish that. Here's the thing. Now, Isaiah Thomas was definitely a good ball handler. Well, no, he wasn't a good ball handler. He was a great ball handler. But Allen Iverson represented evolution. Allen Iverson, he not only had the same quickness, but he could. It seemed like he did a little bit more. As far as like whenever he went to take his shot, he could. I mean, this isn't the handle part, and I might be getting into other aspects of his game, but he'll make them contact shots.
Okay. We're talking about dribbling, not shots, though. Okay.
Right. But I mean he's faster. He's more athletic. I mean I think he played running back, so it just makes sense. Okay. Or was he a quarterback?
He's a quarterback.
Quarterback, yeah.
Safety, corner, he did everything. He's one of them players.
But I think he's just one of them guys. Just a freak. He in the 80s, you got to figure also there's something different that was happening in that food. than was going on whenever Isaiah Thomas was playing. But Isaiah Thomas was definitely a great ball handler. Can't take that away from him.
Well, great. Thank you for your comments, man. I'll let you go.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You got to be out of his mind, man. You got to put some respect on Isaiah Thomas's name. Let me tell you, man. Allen Iverson was dope. And if he was 6'5", 6'6", he'd probably be one of the greatest basketball players ever. Shot 42%, but numbers don't tell the whole story. He was out there dominating big men, little men, couldn't catch him. He just fast. But the brother was carrying the ball, man. They wasn't calling it. Even the old players were saying that, like Tim Hardaway and all them other players. He was carrying that ball, bro. I'm going to get a lot of hate comments on that, but he was very dope, though. Very fast. Isaiah Thomas, you got to put respect on that brother's name. He was dribbling like a Harlem Globetrotter. I'm talking about sliding to the ground, dribbling through people's legs and different things like that. Like Isaiah was no joke. I want to say, I know he was like one of the baddest players from Chicago. Brother had handle. Won championships in high school, won championships in college at Indiana University. He's the only player that beat Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird. He don't get enough respect. One of the baddest point guards out there. But that's my take. I mean, like I said, I would have to give it to Isaiah, just because of I mean, I do agree with what Will was saying, that dude is faster. Isaiah Thomas is a real fast player. I get it. He can score. Like I said, if he was a little taller, I think he's one of the baddest short men under 6 foot. But you got to put respect on Isaiah's handle, man. But that's just my opinion. If you're supporting the channel, definitely hit that Cash App you see down below. Yeah, I think I'm in the show here, man. Appreciate you, Will, for coming on. Got some other things I got to do. I'll holler at you later.